Welcome to Marvel Movie Talk. Very excited to be here to talk about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man episodes 6, 7, and 8. That's right. We've got 3 big jam-packed episodes that we're going to talk about here. And as we always say on this show, Christian plus Eric equals fun. And then, of course, the transitive property is Katie plus Brody equals, mostly fun. So we're going to bring the fun. And if we're going to bring the fun, we're going to immediately bring up someone who was in the middle of trying to get more XP than anyone else she knows. And it is, of course, Katie Hampton. Katie, hello. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
We always appreciate it. And Eric is a little eager here, showing off his action figures.
Collectibles, my friend, collectibles.
My grandfather would have called those dolls, and what he would have called you, I can't say anymore. But I've always got a weird four-eye grimace. That's the toy that's always here. And David Brody, we appreciate you being here as well. Did you bring
in the sort of fun? Yes, I did bring something. Hold on.
All right.
I brought an issue number 1 of Marvel's superhero Contest of Champions.
Oh, sure, the Contest of Champions.
Nice.
That's a John Byrne cover?
No, it's a crappy cover by. Let me see who it's by. I put on the old glasses. It's by John Romita.
Senior.
Junior.
Well, there you go. That's boy, the devil's in the details. In any case, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of Spidey dropping these 3 episodes on the heels of us only getting 2 episodes next week, and then the season will be over. And Eric holding up Strike Force Martori, which I believe is how you pronounce that. Great concept that I cannot believe they haven't turned that IP into any other kind of television property. Very quickly, they have a mechanism to give people superpowers, but it's guaranteed that it'll kill you in 1 year. But people sign up to fight this alien invasion with superpowers, knowing they'll be superheroes basically for 1 year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Don't know why it has fallen by the wayside. Star-Lord. All right, we appreciate that. And
since we're bringing out random comics,
we get the update from Daniel Drew. He's dealing with snow today. He's only just starting to watch the episodes. He'll pop up in the chat after episode 3. That's all right, Daniel. You take your time. We always appreciate it. Snow, that takes me back. Not really. All right. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But we do need to start with the Thunderbolts. And I don't mean Thunderbolt Ross, although we will certainly talk about him. The Thunderbolts made an appearance at the Super Bowl, unlike the Kansas City Chiefs.
Cool.
They showed up suited and ready to play. So
trailer lasted longer.
Wait, that looks like their defense, actually.
Well, dropping like flies. Yeah. My friend Leah made the point that the Chiefs forgot to pay the refs. But in any case, so we got this. Yeah, and it's a Super Bowl trailer. You don't have to tell me it's the big game trailer, although it does say in the ad right there, not super, which I think is actually pretty funny. So we've gotten to see so much more of this. We get so much Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And in the chat, we have the perfect amount of Cam Egan. Thank you, Cam Egan, for being here. So I want to start with you, Katie. Your thoughts on this latest trailer that it's the first new footage we've seen, really, extended footage that we've seen since probably, late last year, like in the fall.
Yeah. No, we definitely get a lot more. We get a little bit more of Red Guardian, which is always fun. Just as silly. I don't know what else more I'm expecting from this. I do like that we kind of get an explanation of the asterisk.
Yeah.
Seems to be uncovered, which is nice. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's it feels like the storyline might include Ghost and sorry, what are the other 2 that we're
Taskmaster?
Taskmaster, yeah.
The ones that we're theorizing might
die in the first third of the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, they might be the red shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're going a little bit longer, but yeah, it was nice to at least see more footage of them in the trailer.
What did you think, Mr. Brody? Having stealing your attention away from a riveting football game to see what's going on with the Thunderbolts here.
I was hoping Taylor Swift showed up in the trailer, because she certainly didn't show up much in the game. By
the way, there was a rumor that David Harbour was going to propose to her in the middle.
I
of
did
this
hear
trailer.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, you marry me, superstar. I loved it. It's obvious that what's his face, Bob, is Sentry is going to be the villain that they have to fight. I haven't figured out quite yet if she sends them to break Bob out and doesn't care if they die because she just wants Bob. Like, did she assemble a team to break him out and then he's going to be the all-powerful force they want? But either way, before we delve too deep into it, I loved it. I thought the action was great. The humor was great. The team camaraderie. My guess is Taskmaster is dead before the 5-minute mark in the movie. Maybe she lasts.
You're telling us that you've seen all of her footage in these trailers?
We've seen all the footage, and I feel like they're going to make a different, like another guy is going to take over the Taskmaster outfit going forward. I can't imagine a lot of them survive. I think Elena survives. Obviously, Winter Soldier survives. Bucky, but I think Red Guardian's a dead man as much as I love him. I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, well, that's going to really lend to the comparisons to the Suicide Squad. But I hope we get to see a lot of them. And Ivan Soto's asking the question. It's so obvious that Taskmaster is dying. Why are they being so obvious now? Why not hide that? Because just maybe, Ivan, she's not dying, and they want you to think she is. But I know that is the conventional wisdom. And Kemi Egan agrees with Brody too. The trailer was great, and I agree. Taskmaster dies right away. Well, all right. So here's the thing that we'll do when that movie gets closer. We're going to do an over/under. We're going to set the line maybe at 5 minutes, but we don't have.
We got to bet.
No wagering now, because we might get more trailers that might change anybody's opinion. So let's see. That movie comes out May 2nd. So by the end of April, we'll need to come up with that. But Mr. Conner, and of course the over there at the Dog Pound, like the front row section at the Arsenio Hall show. What? Glad that you like that, Katie.
I know. I was like, yeah, ding that bell, and like all of a sudden,
Yeah, exactly. So you see the Thunderbolts trailer, and what does the great Count Eric Conner think about that?
Well, I'm hoping now, as we talk about Taskmaster's ultimate demise, two things. One, I hope it's like the old Police Squad show, The Basis for Naked Gun, which is she gets shot in the opening credits.
Yeah,
that would be a fascinating choice. But then, secondly, I hope her last line is, "The only thing I haven't mastered is life," and then she dies. I think that to me would be a fitting end to a character that none of us were really excited about seeing again. In the comics,
Eric,
her power's good. Yes, sir.
What if she says, "I didn't complete my task," and then dies?
She wouldn't really be the master then, now would she?
That's right.
By the way, when Taskmaster dies and they want to replace her, do they just use the app TaskRabbit to find a new one? Will it be TaskRabbit? We will find out. I'm excited.
There's a possibility Christian and I could see this together during one of our very special nights out.
Although I believe we only go see movies for Valentine's Day, but we might make an exception. Yes.
We might make it. Well, it's like Arbor Day around then, so we can make an exception. But the idea that the four of us, wherever we are gonna chuckle a little bit when she dies.
Yeah.
In the case of Brody, possibly a lot.
Yes. I mean, she's not in any of the scenes. They're in the car. She's not there. Look, they're all together outside the building. She's not there. She's not there.
They just have to cut to random movies she's been in like other films or commercials she's in. This looks fun. I think it's we've seen what this thing is.
Yeah.
The only question, and it sounds so obvious, is it going to work? Is it going to maintain our interest and the humor and the energy for 2 hours? I think it could. This director, I don't know much about, but I love the actors. I love the choice of characters they've made in terms of the main players. And any chance to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus back in the Marvel universe, I think this
Yeah.
is the right fit for her. I think it was awkward kind of getting her into the Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but here it makes a lot more sense. She looks like she's having a fantastic time. I love the hair. So I think until we see it, we just won't know if it works. I just hope it does, because they definitely, especially right now, the Captain America reviews have been not great.
Uh-oh.
So it feels like we need.
Well, I'm on a text thread where that came up, and I will let people know that if you remember some of the past iterations of this show that were for AfterBuzz / Popcorn Talk Network, my friend Roxy Stryer saw it last night and loved it. She raved about it, and so I am going to hang my hat on that reaction and not figure out whether or not Leonard Maltin and Gene Shalit liked it. And I'm actually not sure if Gene Shalit's still alive. So if he's not and he
His
liked
mustaches,
it, yeah, it'll always go on. What's that? You want me to tell you my Gene Shalit story? We don't have time. Another day, but I do have one. I'll have to tell it another time.
You also have a tattoo.
Look, I think that this looks great, and it looks like it's fun. It looks like the most fun of the three movies that we have coming up this year. And Kemi Egan's got the question: over under Thunderbolts does better than the Fantastic Four. So the Fantastic Four has a very specific look and a feel, and it's going to depend on, does that look and feel connect with people? Are the early reviews that it's like, oh, it's not just good, it's great, you know? So I think we'll have to see that. I feel like this has the potential of rewatchability out of the three films that we're getting this year. It does look like the most fun. And I obviously, I'm excited for it. I'm excited about all three of these movies. I do feel like this might be a little bit more memorable than some of the other ones, in the way lines that will come on this show and annoy people by quoting. You know, think of the memes that we're going to get, especially if Taskmaster dies in the first 5 minutes. That somebody's going to have to create that meme so that we can promote our show with that meme. But does anybody have
accepted?
Does anybody have strong feelings that the Fantastic Four will crush the Thunderbolts?
I feel like the Fantastic Four is going to be like the art piece of the year, the one that we all appreciate for all the artistic ability, for the acting, for the directing, all the sort of like nuance of the business stuff. And I feel like the Thunderbolts is going to be the one that is like the summer rewatch that you just want to have popcorn and a soda and just have a good time.
Yeah. Some people are saying that Fantastic Four First Steps is the brutalist of the MCU. So you'll appreciate it, but it might not be the most fun. And whereas the Thunderbolts is like the Fast 11 of the MCU. So get ready for that.
The good old Tokyo Drift of the Marvel Universe.
And Kemi Egan with a great point, shouting out two of Chicagoland's finest, the corpses of Siskel and Ebert, perhaps. I don't know what they would think, in all honesty.
I bet they wouldn't be down for this whole superhero.
No, that's a great point.
Ebert especially would have been very much a nitpicker of the whole universe.
Yeah, that's true. I appreciate that. I think you might be right, Ivan. Taskmaster is like Slipknot in the first Suicide Squad movie. I have to admit, I thought you were talking about the heavy metal band Slipknot, and I'm like, wow, this is a wild theory that he's got here. And I'm like, oh wait, no, okay, it's not that. So we'll see. Look, it was an exciting thing. In an afternoon here on the West Coast, an evening on the East Coast, where commercials tended to involve eyebrows and mustaches leaving people's face and running around. This was a very welcome commercial, I thought. I enjoyed it very much. So I'm looking forward to this. So it's so far off, but we were all talking beforehand. We'll all be seeing Brave New World within the next week. Three of us will be seeing it tomorrow. And Katie, you're seeing it on Monday.
Monday for Mark's birthday.
That's right. So we will have multiple episodes recapping that film. And then we'll also be back next week to talk about the 2-episode finale of your season finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Not My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Oh, no. It is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So I'm looking forward to that. And let's dive in now as we talk about episodes 6, 7, and 8, as we talk about Brave New World, and we talk about they told me to lose the mustache or lose the election. Well, we have him back here with the mustache. So I guess he hasn't run for office yet. A little confusion with the timeline and all of that, but it was welcome to see good old Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross show up. And in no way there was 0.0 ounces of surprise that Norman Osborn would be really tight with Thunderbolt Ross. What did you think, Brody? This sort of alternate version of these characters. They seem like two guys that have a lot of common ground, don't you think?
Yeah, it reminded me of a certain Mr. Musk briefly with the hobnobbing with the power brokers. No pun intended to the power broker. Coleman Domingo.
Shout out to Emily Van Camp. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Coleman Domingo was on Seth Meyers this week. And I'll always, of course, know him as Victor Strand from Fear the Walking Dead. But he was talking about playing Norman Osborn, and he gave away a major spoiler.
Well, please don't give it to us. But
no, he gave away the direction of the character.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I can't, I signed up for this character knowing that blah, 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 blah. And I went, whoa, we don't know that yet. What?
Yeah.
Stop. Like, no kidding, but also shut up. So
right.
I don't trust him. His son has a man bun, so I don't trust him either.
But what about his multiple earrings?
The earrings, the earrings and the man bun combined. Not trusting him. You know what he looks like? Do you watch Invincible? There's the robot, the boy that has the robot, and for some reason the robot has like a man bun also. That's what he looks like, the robot from Invincible.
It's almost like there are enough creators out there that feel that man buns are evil. I don't know. I mean, there are maybe that's
maybe not evil. You just can't trust them. I get that.
Right.
Okay.
Can't trust it. Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law had one for a minute. It made for some complicated Thanksgivings. I won't lie.
Yeah, especially when it wasn't wider than his nose. So that's a problem because that little short Charlie Chaplin thing can be misconstrued as a Roman salute to mustaches.
Did not know where you were going with that.
Nah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Now we're there. Oh.
So the fact that he threw Spider-Man under the bus and outed him about the Sokovia Accords, and he did give a false name for his driver, Gallo, John Gallo, I think was the name. I think.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Harry. I mean, Norman is untrustworthy. And then he, at some point we'll talk about it later, but he abandoned him with his quest to find Doc Ock. He just ignored Spider-Man when he needed help.
I'm sorry. Is that not good parenting? Oh my gosh! All right.
Not good
parenting. I gotta replace some of my notes. Jeez, I found it heartwarming. Whoops.
Yeah.
And shout out to Echo Pineapple in the chat. And I'm not sure when my conversation with Sir Pineapple will be available, but I convinced him to read some X-Men comics because he likes the movies and he likes the cartoon, but he's never read any comics. So I gave him my reading list, which of course includes the Dark Phoenix Saga and God Loves Man Kills. So there's more, but that's we appreciate Echo Pineapple being there. 2 weeks. All right. So after all the excitement dies down from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, all the excitement from Brave New World, everyone will be able to focus on the episode of Echo Pineapple's podcast that features me. All right. So everybody can
And Echo is Luke spelled backwards. Is that what we're supposed to figure out?
I don't think I ever thought about that before. So
all right.
I believe that's it. I do know someone that pronounced it a cool pineapple some time ago. But that's neither here. And you know what? You cracked the code. So Brody is going to move on to the next round where the prizes double and anything can happen. What did you think, Katie, when we're good old Thaddeus Ross kind of waltzes in like, oh my gosh, Norman, you old so-and-so.
Yeah, I kind of just like kept reconfirming that like Norman's not a great guy, and I've been on this fence for a while because he has been, at least up until the point where he gets the snot beaten out of him. He's been fairly good to Peter, but it's always like, I don't know. But once they invested in the storyline that Peter needs a father figure in his life,
Yeah.
that's how we knew. But just seeing Thaddeus walk up, I was like, of course these guys know each other. And of course he's like, hey, y'all need some weapons deals going down. We've got some interesting tech now. We even have one of the Sokovia Accord nominees right in my backyard. I'm just wondering what the long con of this whole thing was, especially since I don't know, we'll get into it later, but when we see the Green Goblin glider come in to help save them. I was like, okay, it's funny how they're doing the story is that like they're giving us pieces that we do know of, but they're also giving us timelines that we're not really familiar with in terms of like these storylines happening. So I find that very fascinating and fun because it is throwing me off in some ways, but I'm also like, but yeah, you can't. Norman's never been a good guy. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, well, it is in the first episode. So Cam Egan mentioning Daredevil showing up, telling Peter that Osborn is dirty was great. And what I love about that is that we see the good Catholic boy that is Matthew Murdock, and he's not going to beat up this kid, even though he could have disfigured him horribly. He's just like, all right, I'm just gonna knock him out let him think that he avoids one of my billy clubs. And
what a great fight too.
It's an amazing fight, and Peter's like, you're great at fighting. He's like, you're not. I thought
that was the line.
But I'm getting better.
Yeah. I thought that was great. And Eric has, and our images are crystal clear images that I was telling Katie how impressed I was at how dust free they looked this week. I was telling Katie before we started the show. No. It's like when Brody shows up and his microphone isn't the right one. I won't let it go when these things happen. I fixed it. Yeah, you were great today. I guess you saw that coming, and Matt just says, not quite. So
Spider-Man was lucky there was no hallway around. That's all I'm saying.
And I will, of course, give credit to Ivan and Kame Egan, and Charlie Cox was indeed the voice of Daredevil in this. And Brody sent that to us yesterday. We had a very excited email thread about a little bit of the footage of that fight. And so we've kind of moved on to the fight. But Eric, I want to let you comment on the Daredevil fight, but also getting to see the Thaddeus Ross, and Ivan does point out that he looks like Sam Elliott. The fact that Sam Elliott never actually played him is just criminal, in all honesty. So,
wait, did he play that? Wait, hold on. Who played him in the Hulk with Eric Bana? I thought that was Sam Elliott.
What are you doing to me here? Was he?
Yeah.
Remember, all I can think of is the Demon Hulk dogs.
Or the guy, the frame of him blowing up, and it froze on that great moment.
Yeah,
so.
and yes, it is Sam Elliott.
Boom.
Right. So so
and clearly,
and that was like a year ago that I watched that movie.
Yeah,
and that's how much I've pushed it out of my head. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that movie is pretty remarkable. First of all, I'm just thrilled that they're like, okay, we're going to put Thaddeus Ross in this, but we're going to obviously go with the Sam Elliott. Yeah, I'll do peace and love to William Hurt. And I'll do peace and love to mustacheless Harrison Ford. They go OG, and clear. And I think it's great that the animators. It's like a little love letter to Sam Elliott. By the way, the whole mustache ride joke came from his T-shirt in the movie Mask. So the mustache ride like reference in Super Troopers. Is a reference to that. So
what exactly does that mean, Eric? I'm confused.
No. Mustache ride. Well, next time I'm in New York, Brody, I'll show you.
Go ahead, Eric. Explain it to all of us.
Well, I don't have a mustache, so I guess you'd be the one giving the ride. So
when two people love each other very much.
All right, you know what? I'll come to think of it. Don't explain it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, this show continues to impress. I am so surprised though that they have shoved them all in as they have, like 3 episodes here. Next week, that's the end of the season. And this is really good property. And I know Disney is always trying to make sure they keep their subscribers. So I'm not sure the logic of sort of cramming 3 episodes in at once. Although I will say the one episode felt like a bit of a ramp up. In some ways, the 3 episodes together. The first episode, not that much happens beyond the Daredevil fight.
So you're talking about episode 6, correct?
Episode 6, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 7 is where S
Everything
hits
goes down.
Fan repeatedly. Scorpion hits Spider repeatedly. And then the 8th episode is a little bit of the sort of resolution of that and like the dust falling back to the earth. No Spider-Man whatsoever, I think, in that episode. It was just Peter. So I think like the 3 of them together dramatically made a lot of sense. Felt like a good kind of act 1, act 2, act 3. But this episode, and then honestly the trailer of the Thunderbolts got me really excited for the possibilities of Secret Wars. I think that to me is like, okay, I want to see now Spider-Man, Daredevil fighting. I want to see like this sort of mix and match of characters they brought in, even here where they brought in Iron Man and the first hint of the Green Goblin. You realize like there's all these wonderful combinations of characters they haven't even come close to doing yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this got me excited for a movie that's still many, many years off. But watching the 2 of them fight, and I love that Spider-Man's not good at it yet. That, Daredevil had him outclassed, outbeaten, as did the Scorpion. So, I mean, that's one of the great things in this season is that Peter is not great at any of this yet. This is Spider-Man Homecoming. This is like early old school Spider-Man, still like the puppy trying to grow into his feet.
Yeah. I mean, he's also only fought like burglars and muggers and things like that. And now we're getting actual superheroes or super technology.
Well, Katie, perhaps you didn't hear. He's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It's true.
He's your friendly neighborhood.
That's a great point.
True.
Yeah. So.
But Christian, to Eric's point about Spider-Man still learning what he's doing, going along with my Obadiah Stane theory from last episode, the Scorpion sure knows what he's doing already with the equipment.
It's fusing to his body, man. Like I feel like that's chemical at that point.
Yeah.
It's like some AI stuff. It's kind of like what they did with Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, where the chip that sort of stops him from, it stops the AI from taking over his central nervous system is basically kaput here. So I'll buy it too. I think there is a sort of accelerated course at University of Phoenix that you take when it fuses with your body.
I do believe that is where that comes from. And thank you, Echo Pineapple, to make sure everybody knows to like and subscribe whilst you're watching. Please, there's so much great content over here at Geekscape. Like, subscribe. You can smash that like. It's okay if you want to smash it, but you could also, if maybe you're
let me coax it
and it's not the Hulk, you don't have to smash it. You can just click on it and
you can take it to dinner and romance it if you want.
Yeah, right.
Caress
exactly.
Caress that like.
By the way, in the chat, our friend Ivan Soto points out that episode 8 is an homage to the Spider-Man issue. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 50, Spider-Man No More. And thank you, Echo Pineapple. Bladt Smash is really what we're looking for here. In any case, so yeah, we have sort of this, and we've seen this in some of the movies. We've seen this on the various series. There is that moment of like, well, should I be Spider-Man? And it's like ultimately he comes around that, if I'm not going to be Spider-Man, who is? Okay, Miles Morales. But if not Miles Morales, who is? Okay, Gwen in some realities. Okay, so there's a multiverse of people that could be Spider-Man. But in this one, it has to be Peter. And I do like whenever we get to explore that narrative. And yes, there's a lot of excitement when you get to see a Daredevil in here. In these episodes, and I don't think you sent me a still of Iron Man. Is that correct, Eric?
I did not. No, I'm sorry.
No, so that's all right. 10 demerits.
Katie told me not.
But oddly enough, those 10 demerits now turn into 5 credits each for Katie and Brody. So
yes, we're ranking up.
We'll give you the point total at the end of the episode.
We're grinding for XP, guys.
I'm already in the double points round, so that's good for me.
Ooh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You're moving on to the next one.
Before we move on to our next point, Chris Tuthill in the chat. Around here, we like comic story books, but what about likes? Anybody else do likes? Come on, fellas. Celtic just lost 2-1 against Bayern Munich in the Championship League. If you say so. But yeah, hit the like. Thank you. So clearly from across the pond, everybody should know to smash those likes like Red Hulk would. Katie, I feel like you were about to say something before I was trying to make sure that people like this channel, subscribe, and it reflects well on us.
As you do. I lost a little bit of my train of thought, but at the same time, I think what I was trying to go for is I like that a lot of the stuff that Peter is dealing with is not necessarily like, oh, I'm not showing up to like movie night or anything like that, or I'm not showing up for Aunt May. It's I'm getting beat down by all of this stuff, and it feels like the social stuff that Peter is dealing with within this is his like, how much can I actually do? Because Spider-Man's supposed to do good. And hearing these like very interesting things from Norman Osborn of like how he should be doing good and like through his power is such an interesting way that I kind of like that Peter Parker is either going to be intrinsically very good from this point of view in this universe, or he's going to turn in a very evil way that I don't know if we've seen, at least in a nice kid show.
Well, I think in terms of what you're talking about, you know, sort of seeing some of the things that we're familiar with, and then they get kind of turned on their ear, as it were, and things go slightly askew when we all hear Norman Osborn say, with great power comes great respect, and changing that word, you're like, yes, that is what he would say. That is definitely what Norman Osborn would say. That is what he would believe. And I like sort of embracing the idea throughout these episodes that even May apologizes that he doesn't have Ben in his life. And, you know, it's not something that's necessarily explored as much. You know, he's just sort of basically
the influences.
His role in Spider-Man's origin story, the classic one, the traditional one, is just, you know, so brutal, and it's devastating for Peter. But this is also like, and here's the repercussions of this. And by the way, whatever happened to Ben in this world, it's not Peter's fault because he wasn't Spider-Man yet. So however he died, so he doesn't really have that. So I do think it's fairly interesting to see these things as they unfold. It is a brief appearance, but I did like when we see Otto Octavius go full Doc Ock, and you know the arms very reminiscent to the Sam Raimi Doc Ock arms, and I thought that was great. And Katie, what was you want to explain the moment that you sent to me that I would play the video if I felt like we could, but you know, I don't mind sharing stills from these shows, but I don't want to actually show clips.
That's fair. There's a moment where Octavius is working at his computer, and his assistant guy is like, "You're playing that game again, aren't you?" And he just looks over and he's like, "I'm mining for massive XP, waiting for the developer to get rid of this, like basically mining glitch," which anybody who is a gamer totally understands. You have a light program going on in the back while you're working so that you can just mine XP and get to the next whatever. I thought that was hysterical and 1,000,000,000% something Otto Octavius would do.
I had to watch these episodes without my kids because they had the audacity to go to school.
Weird.
Because we're doing this earlier than we usually do. And I was thinking about how much my son will love that reference as a big Minecrafter, and trying to figure out how to watch the scene with Scorpion with my 7-year-old daughter, Lucy, who came into the show worried that it was going to be too scary for her. So
that's a hard one. I don't know what you would do.
I believe we're going to go get ice cream at that point.
He only kills one guy for certain.
No, that part's fine. No, stabbing Peter and Peter bleeding is actually what it is.
Man, that motion, that was what I love that they also did it right out of frame too.
Yeah.
Like they kept almost like the cartoon promise.
The
like,
most violent stuff happens off frame. There were a couple instances
Beautiful.
that we saw that. I want to move along to another character though, and I think that this comment from Daniel Drew ties directly into that. Daniel loved seeing Daredevil, loved the music cues. Was wondering when we get the power responsibility thing, and intriguing to see the flip of the script. Yes, it is almost What If like, and by What If I mean the comic book What If, not the television series. But to get the music cue when Iron Man shows up after, that's the moment that Otto Octavius is like, all right, I misplayed my hand here. Yeah. But the way the choreography, the music, it's almost like Swan Lake, the way that it's just, it's all happening behind him, and he's the choreographer, he's the puppet master, he's the director, he's also got the spotlight, he's doing everything, he's running the whole damn theater, and I love it. And then Iron Man shows up, and by the way, that Iron Man, Mick Wingert is the voice of Iron Man, who was the voice of Tony and Iron Man in What If. I personally was hoping for the voice of Iron Man from Spidey and His Amazing Friends, Uncle Jesse, John Stamos. But short of that, he is obviously somebody they've used to approximate Robert Downey Jr. before. And I think we had just enough Iron Man in here.
You're always hoping for John Stamos, though. That's like your default setting. That's your XP.
You're a Stamos stud. I get it.
No, he's got the twins' phone number, so that's
look.
What he really wants.
I'm waiting for the reboot of Jake in Progress. Okay, I'm the one, but one day.
Still in progress.
Still hoping out for that.
No, Brody. It might have might have wrapped up a little bit. Yeah, I think it might not be in progress anymore. Yeah. So let me ask you, Eric. Getting to see these characters, getting to see Iron Man, reminding us like this is still the Marvel universe. This isn't the Sony verse where these characters can't show up. But what did you think?
They're being very, very smart about it, and something we've talked about before. They're very patient. Like even Iron Man shows up, and you think, "Oh, okay, now it's gonna be a lot of Iron Man." Nope, just a little, just a taste, just to remind you he's out there. And they've been really shrewd about it. Like they name check characters we haven't seen yet, i.e., Captain America, where they even bring up Captain America. Yeah, I still love him. That's great, and especially if you know the MCU and where this falls in that sort of sacred timeline. The idea that right now Captain America is still public enemy number, maybe not 1, but number 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And so they're really handling it right, where there's always that fan service. There's always that possibility they overstuff the goose, but they've been really smart about holding things back. And really one of the things that most impressed me about these 3 episodes was how much I cared about the characters that were not just Peter. And the supporting characters, their relationships, all that I think plays out great because they've done such good work with like really treating this thing as a TV show where you have to think about supporting characters. You can't just lean on your heroes every episode, every scene. So as a result, like we actually care about what happens before he becomes Tombstone. We care about their relationships, their friendships, their potential for romance. So that's working just as well as the superhero lore, as not intrusion, but the addition of various MCU characters. And so I think patience has been a virtue for this show.
Would you say that Lonnie's transition into his, 1/10 gang is complete? Like, it feels like over the last 3 episodes, he like really knuckled down and just decided this is going to be his life now.
Well, he left football, right? I mean, that and the way they handled that, he leaves the team and they treat it like a death.
Yeah.
And it worked because, you imagine if you're a high schooler, that's all you've ever done. That was going to be your ticket to wherever. And you basically say, I can't do this. And then how mad he was at his brother. I love that moment.
Yeah.
Because I was mad at his brother too.
Yeah, I think we all were.
Yeah, this is all his fault. I do believe we'll be seeing him as Tombstone next week.
It's too quick.
Well, you only have 10
too quick.
episodes. You assume you get 10 episodes next season.
Maybe the end of 10th episode?
He's going after Octavius. Like I almost think it might be like a very final moment, like he becomes a villain in season 2 or something like that. But there's something interesting that they're doing with slow rolling his story out.
Yeah, I mean, Egan makes the point. He left football, his family, and Pearl.
So, that was rough seeing that.
I was impressed at some of the real interpersonal high school emotions. I actually thought that I had perhaps dozed off, and I was watching Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Degrassi: The Next Generation, and I realized it was actually not the same show, mostly because Drake wasn't there. But he
got ousted during the Super Bowl, so it's fine.
That's what I hear.
He's not like us.
That's what I hear. I was busy with a video that already has over 4,000 views. Oh, what's that? Yeah, if you didn't catch our halftime show, you can go check it out at the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube page.
Nice.
Chris Tuttle says it's entertaining and hopes we can, oh, I see. There's not actually the one that I wanted. There was something that he said earlier. Yeah, here it is. No. I don't know what it was. Anyway, the chat is just crazy.
Crazy chat.
And Ivan Soto, I cannot stand for
Degrassi.
For no, Degrassi, gross. No. I think that this is a very Canadian melodrama friendly show here. Okay,
none of that anti-Maple Leaf stuff here, sir.
Yeah.
Now that was filmed before Canada became part of America, right? Just check my book.
It was not our 51st state just yet. Yeah, exactly. Jean Chrétien was not governor back then. Just drop that for our Canadian audiences. Yeah, that's right.
Nicely done.
Nice.
I'm going to send this to Potato, see what he thinks. So
I would like to say something crazy if I have a moment.
Yes, please.
I am enjoying Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man more than X-Men 97.
Whoa! I don't even know what to do with that. Like that, I don't think I'd ever hear that sentence out of your mouth ever. What is it? What is it specifically about this show as opposed to X-Men 97 that you're liking more?
First off, I would say the animation is much more pleasing to the eye. I really enjoy the animation style. I know X-Men 97 is supposed to be throwback and look awkward and like it used to. But I don't enjoy the animation and the stiffness of the animation as much. Although I love the characters of the X-Men, the fact that Daredevil showed up was such a home run for me that they brought in X-Men 97. I don't recall they bringing in Avengers or other people. Like
Captain
it was just
America
X-Men.
was in an episode, and
right. It was very brief. Yeah. But Daredevil showing up was such a great fight scene, and it really kind of placed Peter as an amateur fighter. I really, Lonnie and Nico, like the peripheral people, I kind of enjoy more than Jubilee, who I think was kind of goofy. I don't know. I realized that today when I was watching the episode. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to say it.
New stories and like it's like different takes on things. Like it's not
that may be. It may be that the X-Men is recreating things that are already in my head.
Sure.
That I've already seen. That's a great point. And it's their interpretation of the comics, whereas this is all original and it's a new look at that universe. But overall, I'm really enjoying because I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know. The glider came in. I'm like, oh, the glider. Whereas, if the White Queen showed up, I'm like, yeah, the White Queen. I know it's going to happen because I've already read the comic 25, 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was. So I think for me at the moment, I don't know where it's going to go. But right now, I'm enjoying this more. And I loved X-Men 97. I'm just enjoying this, I think, because I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying it.
So in the chat, people might be losing their minds. Echo Pineapple says,
Brody.
I didn't know we'd have crazy talk on the stream. And Sam Bibley points out that the Pineapple is calling you out for this take. Ivan Soto with an oh snap. Kama Egan shocked, but also just visually shocked. Sam Bibley and Daniel Drew, who never has a bad word to say about anything. All caps. Whoa!
Curmudgeon no more.
Yeah.
I agree that the animation style is more interesting. I think I enjoyed that show more. What I have to say though, Brody, is these are not new stories. What they have done is they have taken the ingredients for past stories and then gone into a different kitchen, and then they're making something crazy with it. So there's a lot of familiar things, but it does feel more different than X-Men 97. I would agree, but that is actually why I prefer X-Men 97, because it is bringing the X-Men that I always hoped would be on some kind of screen while I was a younger lad. I was 16 by the time that the animated series premiered. So, I was already too mature for it, although I loved it. So anyway, very interesting thought from Brody. I am enjoying this show more than I thought. And I find it at times surprising in terms of some of the, we're going to give it to you. Because when we see the glider, Norman's glider, I'm like, oh shit, Spider-Man is going to get rescued by the Green Goblin. And then Norman's going to have to pretend he's not him. Oh, okay. No, it's just a glider. All right. But still cool. But
that also indicates that he has something going on, Green Goblin-esque, behind the scenes, on top of a billion other reasons of why that glider came in.
Well, he's hiding something, according to Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, if Matt Murdock good Catholic boy, he's not going to lie to you. If he knows that something bad is going on, he's absolutely going to tell you about it. So yeah, I think that this is a very interesting take on all of this. I think it'll be interesting to see where it all goes, and we're really kind of building towards something.
Can we also just talk about how pleasing it is to see basically comic panels? So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we got the 75-inch TV over here, and it looks amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You remind me of an Irishman. You remind me of an Irishman who brags about his home cinema every time I talk to him. 75-inch screen.
Well, Mark got it on a Black Friday sale. It's a Roku TV, and basically got it for free.
I would be terrified.
It didn't fit in our car.
So you guys had to walk back from Best Buy
because you guys don't own a tank. I mean,
I have a CRV. Yeah, no, it actually it would just barely fit in. Like we had to drive like this, and my knees were crunched up against my face. It was hilarious. But yeah, that TV is huge. By the way, fun fact, if you were around my street when I watched the first episode of Star Trek Enterprise, you would have gotten a whole show. Lots of packages.
Wait, you mean Star Trek Enterprise, the UPN show?
Oh yeah.
Or how you guys watch the show. And I have so many questions now, but we could say
because it's such a big TV. It was just like Scott Bakula dick bulge everywhere, and it was just you could see it from 3 blocks away. And I was like, I have to close the blinds because this
Bakula dick bulge is my new college rock band.
Yeah. All right, who had this many years in until somebody finally said Scott Bakula dick bulge on this show? I actually thought we weren't going to get it until 2028. I'm pretty sure, Brody, you thought we were going to get it last year.
I was disappointed. In fact, I commented. I was like, no dick bulge. You're like, nope, not yet.
I mean, why do I make so many Quantum Leap references? I'm trying to get that reference out of somebody. But
Scott Bakula.
Nice.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Let me address the chat. Daniel Drew, why must you try to hurt me so much?
The XDs are back.
I was 2 when X-Men the Animated Series premiered. And this is slanderous. Echo Pineapple saying that my friend Adam Hughes isn't a real Irishman. He's British. He definitely drinks like an Irishman, and he's proud of it. And he sounds Irish. Brody, you know him. Eric, you've met him.
Yeah.
He sounds Irish.
I smelled his breath from here.
I mean, if Shuzi were here, he would say something in his own defense, like, "What kind of fuck are you cunt?"
Whoa, jeez!
I said cunt.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. Immanuel Kant.
I love that
Come
word.
down to Connor. That's my name.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to
remember. This isn't my channel.
I'm not going to use the word again, but I will tell you. I will tell you that
feet.
Gen Z uses that word as a compliment now. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
What on the screen that we're looking at right now looks Gen Z. Put the cat back up. That's Gen Z right there.
Oh, well, pussy's okay. Put that off the screen.
Just wanted to cleanse your timeline.
Brody, when's pickleball?
Welcome to the last episode of Marvel Movie Talk.
When do you have to be to the pickleball court? No. We've got a few more minutes. We've got a few more minutes.
Pickleballs.
Well, here's the thing. Daniel Drew enjoyed it. And Ivan Soto is excited because he's thinking of the song Kitty by the Presidents of the United States of America. So everybody's happy. And I'm sure right now that the last person who would get that reference is, of course, Ivan Soto. But so, Brody, as we start to wind down talking about these first two episodes, are there any areas of conversation that you would like to touch on first?
Well, I would like to talk about the drag race that was completely crazy for Harry to let her drive his car to begin with. And then drag race, when people are taking pictures, he's a celebrity. It's going to show up on social media. I did love seeing Clev again. My man Clev can show up every episode. But did you catch the fact that her necklace helped her driving skills?
Yes.
Yeah,
now, do you understand that?
Hey, right there. That was for you, Katie.
I know. Thank you very much.
Clev.
I was like, and he had like a whole like scene too, which was really great to hear him do stuff. Anyway,
And look how big that hot dog is.
Yeah, it's a
Clev
good hot dog.
Clev was not in X-Men 97. So just one more.
There's another reason.
I'm going to say that hot dog's so big you'd think that that's the Costco food court.
That hot dog's so big you'd think it was Scott Bakula on a 75-inch television.
Exactly. Thank you for that.
I mean, look at the way he's holding it. Come on.
It's right there. But yes, apart from Zach Cherry and his giant hot dog from New York, the necklace lighting up. And so, Eric, you were, I think, just about to say it. I don't know why. I don't know what the power is. I've heard that she's like some kind of a witch or Wiccan type of thing. And I'm curious as like, didn't we also say that the spider maybe crawled on her bag as well?
It turns out it wasn't her.
It wasn't her. Okay.
It wasn't her bag, yeah.
Okay.
But her mother was a powerful villain in the comics. She's a big deal in the comics, from what I understand. But she has a magic staff in the comics. I don't know if that's been replaced by the necklace. But remember, when she was on the rooftop eating pizza with Harry, she talked to it and said, I'm just going to hear him out. Like maybe she was talking to her mother. I don't know. She was talking to somebody. And then later it lit up. She got power from it when she was driving.
Right.
So that's a mystery we don't know yet.
Well, and that's the thing that, okay, cool. Because there is definitely something between her and the Osborn family. Like there's some kind of preconceived angst against it. It is interesting to me how much Harry is being very friendly with a dad like Norman. And like, he seems to be a fairly good kid, but I can't really tell who he is behind closed doors.
All right, so we're getting some eagle eye observations in our chat. So Ivan points out Nico's necklace could be the staff of one, but it didn't act like it. So now I wonder what it is. Yeah, and Daniel said, "Love seeing the pendant helper. Thinks it's the staff of one in disguise." But as Brody mentioned, she also heard a voice from the pendant. But this I didn't notice at all. Nico, this is again from Ivan Soto. Nico's phone is a picture of her parents, Tina and Robert. So we know that in theory the pride exists, but they might just be her parents in this reality. You're right, Ivan. It would make sense because she does seem to be reminiscent of that Nico. But there's also a chance that there's going to be some differences. But so we're getting all of these elements, which I think makes the story so much more interesting. That she's so upset that he didn't tell her that he's Spider-Man when it seems like she has some kind of abilities, whether it's exactly like we were expecting from Runaways. What were you going to say, Brody?
No, her magic power is hypocritism.
Hypocrite! That's just for
that's just for me.
It's literally only for him.
But I loved it enough for all four.
Yeah,
thanks.
But Sam Biblio.
Oh, by the way, I love that Eric has updated his screen name.
The Bacula.
For our audio audience, it says Eric in the Bacula Bulge.
That's my travel band.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. And Echo Pineapple knows what's up. A little dabbling Dan right there. And look, here's a great question, Ivan. Does Nico know her necklace is magic? She knows that there's, that it helps her. Does she know it's magic? I wonder if we're going to get those answers in the remaining not even 60 full minutes of episodes that we're going to get next week. So I guess we'll have to see. But here's a theory from Daniel. who wonders if the pride has already died, but maybe not because of the runaways. And hey, all got sent to different foster homes. Maybe we shall see. Yeah, that's true. And Sam Bibley always knows a good shout out. Is that Rocco's Modern Life there? Your avatar?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. It looks like Spuds McKenzie if maybe the bender was still going on 35 years later. Anyway. So I like to make sure that we talk about the things that the kids are talking about, everything that is current, and no, it's Rude Dog from Rude Dog and the Dweebs. And now, of course, I know what Rude Dogs and the Dweebs are, but these boomers over here got no idea.
But does anybody know about Scott Bakula bulges? I mean,
we all do.
So Daniel wonders if Nico was going to tell Peter about the necklace in an earlier episode and changed her mind. Now, see, that's a theory. So then she's just kicking herself, and then it's also like, man, I could help you not get killed by the scorpion, you know.
Yeah, I don't foresee good things happening with Lottie in the next couple episodes. I do think he'll survive long enough to like really become Tombstone, but it feels like they're almost prepped to like kill him off at the end of this season is what it feels like they're moving towards.
Well, yeah, because
kill off one of the friends. I mean, you set up all this potential collateral damage, which is Christian's favorite Arnold movie. So
I believe it's most people's favorite Arnold movie.
Exactly. It's most people's favorite movie.
Twins.
I'm more of a Last Action Hero guy, but whatever, that's fine.
Which is the one where he gets pregnant? That's my favorite one.
Junior. And by the way, a character that Arnold should have played. Tombstone. So this is the 90s animated series version of.
If he dies, he dies.
He's going to have much better hair in this series. I think that's the thing we can say. And Cam Egan does point out, I can see Pearl getting killed off.
Oh, that would hurt my heart.
No, she's. I was about to say. I think she's right now. Every time I see her, she might as well be wearing a red shirt. Yeah, she is prime real estate for an untimely demise.
And Daniel Drew, what if Lonnie replaces, Big Don?
Donovan. Yeah, Donovan's got to go. He keeps saving his life. Like, dude, let him go. Let him die already.
Come on, Suge Knight. Let's go.
So I think that, the emotions dealing, that Peter has to deal with in these first two episodes, and Nico, and yes, there's the drag race sequence, and I think that it is fun. We're getting so much more Peter Parker than we are getting Spider-Man in this whole series, really, and I think it's great because we have the time to explore the man behind the mask, as it were. And I'm definitely enjoying all of it, getting the cameos, getting to see, spend some time where we finally get to see Otto Octavius using the arms, and so one can only imagine where we'll go after episode 8, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I know Mr. Brody has a pressing engagement. I believe that he has to go pickle Scott Bakula's bulge. Maybe I've misheard that. Yeah,
I do. I did want to make one last observation before I skedaddle. Norman Osborn doesn't have a backup Spider-Man costume. He just has the one, which seems odd to me, but he has a glider ready to go. But that being said, when Nico went into his bag, which I thought was an invasion of privacy, his drawings of what he would like his Spider-Man costume to look like with the red and blue, the classic. I imagine since he's now without a costume and rethinking his life.
See, Brody, I was able to let you go a second ago without having to betray the fact that you didn't watch episode 8. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, I did not. So,
yes.
What a brilliant observation on my part that I predicted it would happen, and it happened.
Well, you'll see
all of it.
You'll see what you see, and you'll see what we all see next week.
But Nico should have kept her grubby hands out of his bag, is what I'm saying. That's really
You're not wrong.
Look,
you're not wrong.
Snitches get stitches.
When I was 15, like Peter Parker, any girl that wanted to put her hands on my bag would be fine. Brody, what did you want to say before you leave? Where can people find you?
You can find me on most social media at David Brody, Brody. You can find me on the Brooklyn Boys podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And you will find me in the theater watching Captain America tomorrow night, and then back again at some point for a Captain America episode. So very
yes,
excited.
I will be posting when people can expect to watch those episodes. So we appreciate that. And thank you, Mr. Brody. And we will talk to you soon. Is pickleball a good luck situation, or is it more of a break a leg situation? I don't understand how it works.
Definitely don't want to break a leg.
Okay.
I would say good luck, kick some ass, and defeat the players that are older than you, which is what my goal always is.
All right. All right.
Bacula bulge to you.
Kick their back.
Bacula bulge to all of us.
He's playing Dick Van
Bye-bye,
Dyke.
everybody. Love you all.
Love you more than a friend. Whoa. So there's a lot of times when we do this show that I realize, like, oh yeah, nobody from Geekscape ever watches our show. But we did have Jonathan with us last week, and I was, and by the way, Jonathan London, sort of the patron saint of the 59-minute podcast episode. We have him on this show, and we go an hour 46. So, but by the way, they did already fund the first issue of Hero the Prophecy, and already stretch goals are being met, and plans are for issues 2, 3, 4, and possibly beyond. So Kemi Egan, do you think the Wakandan intern comes to Peter's rescue with a high-tech suit? I don't think so, because Peter's going to have a high-tech suit in episode 9, as we see at the end of episode 8. We get the hint of it, which I thought that was a great ending. I think all of these episodes had kind of great endings. The the Harry hanging out with Nico. I was like, well, Peter. Oh, so Peter tells you everything, right? All right, so he told you about.
Okay. The worst one to keep a secret apparently is Harry Osborn, which I did not see coming.
Right.
But I'm also like, was that nefariously done? Because I'm still not sure how I feel about Harry, especially how he's been raised with Norman, and then how he responds to Norman's advice to Peter, and he doubles down with it. So I'm like, I don't know. Harry can't really be trusted fully either. But wild that he just was like, oh, you mean you know about his superpower too and his secret identity?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Well, but there was cool too. They had the sort of link of the themes there too. Those where basically Lonnie's secret gets spilled as well. Yeah. So that's one thing I thought was kind of cool, was like these things, like instead of keeping them secrets for the next 3 episodes beyond that, it's like, reveal it a little bit sooner, because then you got to deal with the mess of people knowing. Right. And including her, by the way, when she found out the thing with the necklace, that was the first kind of hint, because she was like touching the necklace in that moment in a way that was like, all right, that means something.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things that Ivan mentions is pointing out that Jean Foucault was sneaking around Oscorp. That is a character known as Finesse in the comic books. And you did reference it, and I have no idea what she's up to, but clearly she didn't accidentally waltz up to one's floor. So I'll be interested in seeing what that's about, what she's up to. And who knows, that may not be a season 1 reveal. We don't have that much time left,
Do we think that maybe she's working with Daredevil?
I like that theory. I didn't have any of these theories,
because she never came back. We never addressed it. We were like, why did you just pop in?
Or she could be a spy for Octavius. I mean, like they've set up so many warring factions. Even that one moment where he's complaining about his tech, he wants to be held in the same esteem as Stark, Banner, and Octavius. And so it's kind of fun that they've already set up. Like, there is already power players at work.
Let's also keep in mind, there's someone that we saw in the trailer we have not seen yet, and there's 2 episodes. So. When I was a boy, we have yet to see Kingpin. We have yet to see Wilson Fisk, and I think that we're probably very close to that. I think we're going to see that, and Daniel Drew, the animals being brought into the lab, including a lizard.
Good catch. Yeah, no, it was like the only animal I could actually see was the head of a lizard, and I was like, okay, we're just doing this now.
Yeah, right, exactly. So,
And she's very understanding of Peter just leaving every 5 seconds. He just got there, and she's like, no, you go ahead.
Sam Bibley, did you guys kick Brody off for using the C word? No. You've seen our episodes with Husey, all right? You don't have to worry about it. Which is funny, by the way. I told our buddy Husey whenever we do shows over here that it's PG-13, so that is a word he uses a lot, but he doesn't use it on these channels. And then Brody just blurts it out, but that's all right. No, that we knew that he had pickleball. And yeah, we're getting a lot of great setup for Sinister Six. We're getting to see a lot of great characters, and I'm actually at the point now, because of the way that they force fed us these episodes, and now we're almost done. I was like, oh, I could use a good 20 episode season here. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
sure.
Like the classic, I could go for 32, 36 episodes. Like,
all right, you want to be crazy? Let's go weekday syndicated series 5 days a week. Okay. 65 episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in season 1.
Let's General Hospital this. Keep it going forever.
Yep, I'm in.
So season 71 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and Nico still hasn't figured out she's a witch. And I'm just waiting for the Harry Osborn addicted to drugs storyline from Amazing Spider-Man issues 97, 98, and 99. One day we'll get those. This is great. I'm gonna have to send this screenshot to Brody. Pickleball, because tennis is so hard. You guys talk about something that you were interested in. I'm actually taking a screenshot right now. Okay.
Okay. I wanted to float this to you guys. She found all of Uncle Ben's R-rated VHSs. What were they?
You know what? I forgot, because that was early enough in my watch. I was going to go out to my office and grab my a box full of VHSs that I have out there, and I love that idea, and trying to figure out, like, I think it's trying to bite you, trying to play with a VCR, and there's some films that need to be watched that way. What were you going to say, Brody?
Well, Brody isn't here. Instead, he's been replaced by a younger, more virile man.
A bacula bulge, yeah.
Yes. Me and my bulge both think Uncle Ben was into some freaky stuff. So thus, I'm going to say it's all erotic thrillers.
But it was
the
like
R-rated ones, not the unrated ones. Yes.
The Predator was like also like over like a bunch of different stuff that I don't even know if they were actual written titles or whatever. But I'm like, what did you tape over? Because
he just taped it off HBO back when Max was called HBO.
Listen, right. We know Aunt May's up for a party.
Yep. Yep, she is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yes, and we did actually get to see him in a picture, which I think is nice. Didn't look at all like Adam Scott, who is the last Ben Parker character that we saw 364 days ago. Although, it was a leap year. So 365 days ago, when Eric and I spent Valentine's Day seeing Madam Web. So in any case, I'm glad that Brody humiliated himself on the way out. I wasn't gonna call him out for not seeing the last episode. He's like, so maybe we're gonna get the blue suit. Yeah, we are. We know we are.
Yeah, we are. And like, I did like that they gave us another cliffhanger reveal of just like seeing it through his eye or his glasses. Very cool image. A lot of the art in this show is kind of knocking it out of the park, to the point where it's just like every time you took a picture, Eric, everything was a comic book frame. It was
it's beautiful looking. Yeah. Well, even like when his lens got this like broken, and even the point of view of his lens, I thought was really neat. Like, this is cool, one, and apparently, this I'm so sorry. I was going to point out Scorpion in the Smoke.
Ooh,
great reveal. And if Christian, if you can go ahead, I think it's like 2 shots. There is so here is that great point of view.
Well, this is what you were just talking about.
I thought was great. And how specific it is. It was only one of the eyes. And so it's only on part of the frame. But then when they're flying away and you see the Scorpion's shadow, I didn't quite capture it with the shot because in still it's a little hard to tell. But if you look closely, you could see the outline of the tail. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
as they're flying away,
Are
the
you talking about in
POV
this one or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the
You do
just
see it a little bit
above that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in motion though, it looks so cool. But you're right. I mean, repeatedly, I found like the animation of this was such a bold choice, and apparently there's been some blowback against it, but I don't understand
I don't
why.
understand that.
Really?
Yeah.
And I finally watched it on a bigger screen. Mind you, mine's not as big as Katie's.
No one's is. It's fine.
No one's is, and I
Scott
make do with what I
Bakula's
have.
Scott Bakula's is way bigger. Like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, mine's not quite a quantum leap. When
well,
you look at him on mine.
Dang it! Yes.
the Quantum Leap episode when he leaps into his brother in Vietnam and he's wearing like the short shorts. Believe me, that's all I'm trying to say. Daniel Drew, it's odd that we haven't seen any evidence of PD's spider sense. I wonder if that hasn't activated. It'll change in season 2 or 3. I felt like well, here's the thing: we don't get the actual. Oh, my spidey sense is tingling, so I think he might not know what it is. When he's fighting Daredevil, there is definitely a moment where he's able to avoid something. He doesn't avoid much, but there is one that he avoids that I thought about it. And
he definitely does in the like first episode when he's fighting the thugs in the alleyway for Harry. It feels a bit like he knows something's coming, so he's able to dodge out of the way. We don't get the Spidey sense stuff, and we also don't know much about what universe that spider came from or what kind of spider that was.
Well, I hope that it's a universe where Peter is an excellent singer, and we get a musical episode, which is always everybody's favorite episode of every show,
or at least the dance from Spider-Man 3,
including Strange New Worlds. Eric, I know, I believe you're meeting Brody over on the pickleball court. So if there are any do you have any Jerry Springer final thoughts before Katie and I really kick this show into high gear for the next 4 hours?
Oh, well.
Of course. Scorpion, I brought a knife to a gunfight.
That was nice. I like that a lot. Yeah.
The scooter, the moment we realize, Green Goblin's showing up. And then he doesn't show up, but the scooter shows up. Like when it cut to him and he's not there. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And even that moment, and this is the moment that's Peter being my everything, when was it, I'm sorry, sir, I need help.
Yeah.
Like he's still it's reminiscent of the tear jerking moment in Endgame where he goes, I'm sorry, as he turns to dust. Like there's something about it's just like
it's an innocence of a kid.
Oh, and like they keep hitting, and I love when he deepens his voice when he's trying to hide it, and it's like such a great joke because it sounds exact same.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when he's helping rescue Lonnie and Pearl, and he's excuse me, sir, and miss.
Hello, my name is Christian Bladt. How are you? But listen,
guys, hello there. Welcome to the stream.
But I am rolling on. Katie, I get to see you in a week. I'm very stoked.
Yes. When is that?
Stage with Katie Hampton.
Is that next Tuesday or when is that?
That is next Tuesday evening at the Pack Theater. Yes. Eric is going to come on and be one of our monologists. That is a person that takes a suggestion from the audience and tells monologues that the improvisers take inspiration from and do shows.
And there's a Fat Burger right nearby.
It's right in the parking lot, and there's free parking. So put that out there.
Parking and Fat Burger. If that alone should bring you there, but the idea of Katie and I sharing a stage, I mean, what more would you want in life? And by the way, Christian won't go.
All right. Well, good. Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to now. So thank you.
No, I ruined it.
I'm glad I've gotten the out. So thank you.
But Heather will, and the kids will come too.
Heather and the kids will be there. Yeah, I'll be rewatching Captain America: Brave New World, which I'll be seeing tomorrow night with Eric and some other folks. And stay tuned, and we'll let you know when to catch that episode. All right, sir. Well, thank you for being here, and we will talk to Eric Conner again soon. We will wrap things up momentarily, Katie, but it's so much less noisy now without those boys trying to show off, in any case. So what are sort of, I mean, for me, obviously, I think that this series works. I'm not saying anything crazy like Brody. This is better than X-Men 97. That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
From Brody of all people.
Yeah, well, he's an odd bird, I suppose.
Love it. Always keeps us guessing.
That's true. So obviously it goes I feel like this show is been on an upward trajectory from the first episode.
Yeah.
And you know, the release schedule, I was just sort of lamenting the fact that it would have made it more fun to know that we had a lot more. And now we're already through it. But here's the thing. This is probably why they did a release like that, because it has really tided us over until Daredevil Born Again, which will be in just a few short weeks. Basically, we're going to get the finale of this next week. We have sort of an open week to catch our breath, and then we will get Daredevil. So I'm looking forward to seeing the reveal of the red and blue suit. What are some of your other thoughts about the final episode, or any of these three, really?
I am amped up to see how this changes, what kind of things Harry has done to this red blue suit. Maybe whether or not his tech is going to be more helpful than Norman's tech. What are the reasons? Like, what's the relationship truly between Harry and Norman? I've got a lot of questions about Harry, to be honest.
I do too.
I'm concerned for Lonnie. I'm even more concerned for Pearl now. Thanks a lot, Cammy. I'm like, oh no, she's totally gonna die now, isn't she? And I feel like she's just been gotten the rotten end of the stick for this entire show. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think we're setting up for a lot of really cool things, a lot of great villains that might pop up, might go away, might get some more, might get some less, who knows. Whatever it is, I'm glad that I can't specifically tell you exactly what I think is going to happen, other than we're going to see a suit and I'm going to be excited about it. And hopefully Peter doesn't get his ass kicked too hard in the next 2 episodes.
Right. And we know, because of the trailer, as we referenced earlier, we're going to get the Kingpin.
Yep.
What does your gut tell you? Will we see the Green Goblin in these next 2 episodes?
I don't think directly in these. If anything, it might be a post-credit reveal at the end of the last. But they gave us a nice tease with that glider, and I don't know what that means. Like, is he already Green Goblin? Is he thinking about becoming Green Goblin? Is it, where the process of the Goblin are we? Or is it going to be Harry? How much, is Norman going to survive to the end of this season? It's a lot of interesting questions, because they are throwing the timelines off in so many different directions.
Yeah, so it makes it that much harder to predict. There are times that a show like X-Men 97 that some foolish people feel like it wasn't as good as this show, but even though you're like,
you don't give up on. Brody, you've made your bed.
Crazy talk, yeah. But in any case, it's not even that I'm not enjoying the show. It's just that is a wild.
I do get what he means, though. Like, I do like not having enough source. I mean, this is a lot of different source material.
Right. That was the point I was going to make. Is that even X-Men 97, where you're like, okay, I feel like they're going towards this,
right?
And there were things that we even talked about on the show that we thought is where they were going. Krakoa being one of them, and then they didn't. So I think it'll be very interesting. A question that I wanted to answer in the chat for a while: Ivan Soto, why does Peter still wear glasses? I'll answer your question. Another question: why does Clark Kent wear glasses? He's Superman. So I don't think Peter needs his glasses anymore.
Well, how much do we know about Peter's abilities? I didn't even think about the Spidey senses until we talked about it today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I know it's true. I thought that it was going to be more of a long con and a slow burn, slow build, all those things. Cammy Egan thinks we'll get a hint of Norman about to put on the Goblin suit. I think it's more likely we're going to see maybe the Goblin, lurking somewhere and not reveal himself to Peter, but we're going to see he's up to no good. And Chris Tudhill, you reference this movie, you get yourself brought up on the chat. Hey, Kingpin, Bill Murray, right? I'm in. No? Okay. And Chris Tudhill, what I love about Chris Tudhill is I'm always watching Christian shows and never know the topic of discussion. I feel like my dog, when we start talking serious about bills or something, he's really trying to be a part of the talk. And Chris Tuttle, I don't think I would agree. It's fun putting on a friend's glasses, to be fair. I've already got a headache thinking about wearing someone else's glasses. So look, these were tremendous 3 episodes.
Yeah.
When we were heading into this season of the show, I did figure, and I said to all of you, I'm like, I figure we'll look at it. We'll talk about the show, and move on to another topic. I didn't realize they had this crazy release schedule. So we really, there isn't time. I'm really hoping next week we don't get a trailer that we have to react to, because I think we just need to really, hunker down and talk about episodes 9 and 10.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for that.
We didn't even mention the chameleon.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're. Yes,
I was like, I have to shout this out, but yeah, this is the other brilliant thing about this is that like there's a fairly major villain that like we completely forgot about.
We all completely forgot. That was fantastic. Did you see Craven, the film, yet?
I didn't. No.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Was the voice the same as any?
No, the voice isn't the
Okay.
same,
Okay,
but
cool.
yeah. And Ivan, it's like we forgot the chameleon was in it, because he doesn't do anything other than revealing himself as the chameleon.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was great. And it's nice because there's no reason that character can't be a member of the Sinister Six, so there's no reason we can't get someone there, which I thought was tremendous. I thought it was great. But yeah, we've met him twice, but it was nice to see him in costume. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no shortage of surprises. I do think there'll probably be a fairly large surprise or two when we next talk about the final 2 episodes of this first season. And we've also got so much Captain America talk. And as I said earlier, we're like a heartbeat away from Daredevil Born Again. So busy times here at the, as they say, the House of Ideas over there, Marvel Comics, Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Studios, etc. So looking forward to all of that. And thank you for being the only one who could stay for the whole show, Katie. Always appreciated.
It happens when you're a little unemployed for a couple months.
I wouldn't know everything about that. So, but Katie, other than, you will please mention your show again, where Eric will show up. It's the Vagina Monologues, or did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, it's the Vagina Monologues. Eric's going to be giving the main flapping one. No, sorry, that was awful. I feel like that was worse.
After Brody, please. It's fine.
I know. But if you have the time on Tuesday night, we are called Running with the Pack. It's a community show where improvisers all around can come and perform in the first hour of the show, and then the last half hour of the show, Eric is going to come up on stage at 8:00, and he's going to tell some monologues, and we're going to pull inspiration from all of the house team improvisers who are all very good, very talented, to do a really great long Armando show. So come on out to the Pack at 7:00 on Tuesday, February 18th. It is in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. And yeah, he's totally right. Free parking, and there is a fat burger right in the parking lot. So
I mean, I don't know what anybody else needs. It does. I like the style of this. Many decades ago, when I still lived in New York, the original Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, they would do. I think that this show was Ask Cat. Yeah,
Ask Cat.
And so the guest monologists would sometimes be writers that I knew from my internships on Conan or SNL. And then other weeks you would go and the guest monologist would be Janine Garofalo. And once it was Chris Rock when I went. So, it's definitely a lot of fun, because it's a lot of like, you're 20 minutes into the scene and you're like, oh my God, that was that thing that he said that I didn't even remember was so funny because of the 80 other things. So, we'll see what Eric delivers, and Eric says I don't need to go, so I was at least considering it. But
you should just go.
We'll see. No, I actually have to check. Because I've got a big night out for Captain America tomorrow, so I have to make sure everything's good. But in any case, Chris Huddle says, "Good show, guys and gal. In my house, we call them monologues." All right. Well, hey, you keep your house the way you want to. That's up to you. In any case, thank you to Katie Hampton, David Brody, Eric Conner, Scott Bakula's Bulge, and everything that we talked about on this episode. I am not sure what day we'll be back, because we've got as many as 3 episodes between now and the end of next week, because we're going to talk Captain America. We're going to talk about this. We want to make sure we schedule it all, and then we'll let everybody know. And that's right. Daniel Drew's got a big day tomorrow. He's doing New Comics in the morning. He's going to see Captain America in the afternoon, and then he's going to go see it again. I'm just going to see it once tomorrow, but who knows? Maybe I'll have seen it twice by the next time we do the show.
Way to support.
We'll do what we can, and can't wait to see it. Yes, Katie.
I was just going to say one last plug. If you haven't seen it, the reason why I didn't see the Super Bowl this weekend is because I was filming season 2 of A-List Casting, which season 1 is out now on YouTube. So go check out A-List Casting. So.
I did not realize you had that plug, and that's on me. That's on me for not making sure that we got everything out. You can find me on social media at Christian DMZ. Yeah, even on Blue Sky. But I guess on Blue Sky, your name is like your thing. Blue Sky. I don't know.
Kind of confusing to find people.
Yeah, it's like somebody saw like, okay, look, there's a lot of reasons we don't like Twitter anymore. So let's take Twitter and make it more like CompuServe and give everybody a series of characters that have no connection to who they are. And that's what they need. But they're kicking the tires and lighting the fire. So hopefully we will get there. And so look at this. Chris Tuttle might even watch Captain America to be prepared for that. So we'll check that out. Thanks again to everybody. Oh, yeah. So you can find me at Christian DMZ. My personal podcast, The Blattcast, BLADTCAST. And of course, who are these broadcasters? Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And if you didn't watch our Super Bowl halftime show, you're in the minority. It already has thousands of views over there on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. So check it out, and you'll see me. So you should watch it anyway. And if Cami Egan says, great show, guys, you know that it must be time to go. Thank you, Cami Egan. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you at the movies. We'll see you back here. And as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!